Okay, our warm-up for the permutations and combinations day in stat. If a circle has a diameter of 6, what is the circumference of the circle? So we know that the diameter, pretend that was the circle, is 6. That's the distance across the center. Circumference, we're pretty good at this formula, 2 pi r. That's the one I traditionally use. What does that mean? That means the center to the edge is actually going to be half this distance, so it'll only be 3. So r is 3. And I get 2 times pi times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So we have 6 pi, and A is the answer. Okay. If a circle with a center at negative 5, 5 is tangent to the x-axis in the standard xy coordinate plane, what is the diameter of the circle? So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and put the center of the circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's not perfect, but that's okay. 1, 2, 4, 5. So here's the center, and it's tangent to the x-axis, which is this one right here. Tangent touches, secant slices. You might want to remember that. Tangent touches, secant slices. So if you were actually slicing off a part of the circle, you would have a secant, but we're dealing with a tangent. So we just barely touch here, which means we do not cross. And that distance right there would be 5. All right, there you go. So that means the radius is 5. And you might be saying, hey, there's my answer, but wait, didn't ask for the radius. I'm noticing most of my students miss because they stopped, they're like, oh, I got the answer. Ask for the diameter. The diameter is twice the radius, so it's 10. By the way, I've actually had students pick negative values. Please don't pick negative values for lengths. We don't have any negative lengths in terms of just basic radius and diameter. Okay, last but not least, xy is 4 inches long, and z is 5 inches long. What is the area of the right triangle xyz? Well, I know that area is base times height, right? My height is 4. What is my base? By the way, they do say it's a right triangle, so we know that's a right angle, all right? And they drew it this way, so we're pretty hoping that that's the right angle and not one of the other two, so that seems reasonable. All right, so how can I figure this out? Well, hopefully, if you took geometry with me or one of our other geometry teachers, you learned a lot about the 3, 4, 5 right triangle. It's one of the Pythagorean triples. Let's say you had forgotten about the 3, 4, 5 triangle. You surely have not forgotten the Pythagorean Theorem. It's so important that my dog is named after the Pythagorean Theorem. His name is Pythagoras, the name of the mathematician who developed it. Admittedly, his was not algebraic at the time, but the most common mistake on the Pythagorean Theorem is that you think, oh, I'm just going to have both of these on one side. No, your hypotenuse must be on the other side, all right? Subtracting 16, I get b squared is 9. Now you might be saying, hey, that means b is 3. Let me go circle 3. Careful, I didn't answer the question. In fact, when I first made my key, I went ahead and, oh, it's 3. No, I'm just supposed to find the area. So 1/2 base times height. So my base is 3. My height is 4. Well, that's 1/2 of 12. Hopefully, you know half of 12 is 6. So there's your answer.